You are watching ALTOS, and we have on set with us Bishop Robert Llanos. He's a Trinidadian, but he's based in St. John's, Pastoral. Welcome to the set, Bishop Robert.
Thank you.
You all right?
I'm good.
All right. So the Antilles Episcopal Conference of Bishops, they issued a pastoral letter dealing with sexual and gender identity. And it was issued on the feast of St. Joachim and Anne.
Yep.
Tell me something. How did that come about? How did that come about?
How did the document come about?
Yeah, how did the document come about?
Well, of course, the Family and Life Commission of the AEC Conference of Bishops, we are always on our toes, so to speak, to see what kind of issues are happening in the world, what's going on in the world around us, and how we may fulfill our responsibility to be shepherds of the Catholic family and the children of God. So, as shepherds, we have to look out to see where dangers lie, that kind of thing. What's happening in the world? What are the current trends? And what our families are facing in terms of raising their children well and being a good Christian family. So, recognizing the problems that were arising all over the world regarding sexual identity and gender identity, we determined that we needed, as the bishops of the AEC, to prepare a document and to put it out there for all families in the Caribbean to have some resource, some confident resource to draw on when dealing with these issues in their families and as they arise, also in our schools and in our institutions, parishes, institutions that have to do with, raising young children, youths, young adults. All the pastoral work that the church does as regards these particular areas of family life.
But this is a first-time type of document dealing with this issue, correct?
Yes, this is the first document dealing with sexual identity and gender identity because, well, as many people already know, it's a very prominent issue right now.
It is.
And we see a threat to the dignity of the human person.
All right.
And we feel a responsibility to clarify the areas of confusion and misidentification and misunderstanding, which abound in a world of social media. They have thousands of sources of information, which in fact are erroneous information, incorrect, incomplete, deceiving people and so on. So we wanted to put something out there that the Catholic or Christian person can depend on for its content as being authentic and led, by good theological understanding, good scientific research, good Christian anthropology, and that sort of thing.
All right. So what is the hope of this document? I know it's out there if anybody's interested in reading the entire document, they could get it on the AC Bishop's website. But what happens next? What after it's released, and how do we get it down into the parishes?
Well, so we have obviously sent this document to all the bishops with the instructions or recommendations rather of how they may utilize it in their diocese, to let it filter down to the people who need it most. So we specify in the document, as a matter of fact, that this document is for teachers, parents, lawmakers, policymakers, people who deal with institutions where they have young people under their care, and who come face to face with these issues from time to time. So the idea is, of course, that the diocese will, using their own media platforms, will now disseminate this document to everywhere that they can, and insist actually on it, that it becomes a point of discussion, for instance, among principals and schools and the hierarchy of the church and the priests and all those who, the catechists.
And mainly a lot of parents, because parents deal with this.
Yeah, I know. But imagine once it reaches the catechists, and the principals in the schools and the teachers in the schools and the schools, children themselves are going through the document, that then the parents will be roped in. The parents are going to come, they're going to come
in
and want to know what do we do. So the document itself, the chapter 4 in the document, the last part, and the appendix provides various pastoral guidelines and directives, in general directives of how people ought to respond and how policymakers and leaders supposed to utilize the document. And then in the last part of the document, there are actual questions and answer things. So
All right.
where a parent is asking a question to a catechist or a teacher and how the teacher ought to respond.
All right.
So we have very clear guidelines of what can be done with it.
All right. Yeah. Good. Bishop, thanks very much for coming in with us, coming to talk to us a little bit about the pastoral letter. And of course, whenever you come back to Trinidad again, we'll invite you on. Right?
Praise God.
Thanks, Bishop.
Thank you.